Hi you guys, it's me Kiana coming at you again tonight. And I wanted to make sure that the house was still and you know, NAYNAY'S down my mom's house down the street. Daddy's in the living room watching TV and Pootie's laying next to me asleep. So I wanted to take this time because we touched base a little bit on um, NAYNAY losing her aunt to death. And I kind of danced around it a little bit of information about NAYNAY'S father, her birth father. And I had told you guys that he is deceased as well. So, right now I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what happened in that situation. You know, we all have experienced pain in our lifetimes, and some of us more than others. Um, some of us in different ways. And that pain, um, manifests itself in different forms and shapes, and we turn to different things to comfort us. And I touch base also in another video of why, or one of the things that I turn to, and we all know that one of my vices to use is food for comfort. And I touch base with you guys about some of my, you know, childhood pain, and whether that's with my father or lack thereof, um, or the mental abuse of seeing him, um, literally ride past me at times, or the fact that my mom had to get rid of my stepfather, who I was extremely attached to, who was an alcoholic, or the fact that, all through my life I was touched by females and males, off and on at stages in my life. Well, I'm going to share with you tonight some adult pain that I've experienced. And we all know I was previously married, and I, of course, you go through pain with a divorce, for many reasons. Mine may be different from the reasons that some other people may be going through pain in a divorce. But right now I'm going to talk about my first love. And my first love was NAYNAY'S dad. And his name was Maurice. And Maurice was one of those really good guys, a genuine good guy. Um, when I met him, he was church going. Um, he actually was gifted with the Holy Ghost when he was 10 years old and started speaking in tongues, I believe, at 12. I met NAYNAY'S dad, birth dad, at when he was 16 years old. We was in high school in Baltimore City, and he lived down the street from the high school. Actually, he never had a girlfriend. I never had a boyfriend. We were both virgins. Um, it was my birthday, and I remember, you know, um, being bad like I was. Believe it or not, you guys, I was so bad. I wasn't bad as far as boys, but I was bad as far as running through the halls and all that kind of crazy stuff. And I was very popular. Everybody knew Kiana, um, and all that kind of stuff. So I was in his class when I wasn't supposed to be in his class, and all the teachers knew me, and they were telling me to get out their class or whatever. So I was telling everybody it was my birthday, and he just kept staring at me. And I noticed this little dark-skinned boy, chocolate and and sharp haircut and clean as the board of health, tennis shoes white, and he just kept staring at me. And here I am, a little yellow fat girl, running inside his class, and he just kept staring at me. So I said, "What you looking at?" And he said, "You." And that's how we started talking. So, to try to sum up and make a long story short, he became very quickly the love of my life. We were the talk of the town, so to speak, at least the talk of the school, that is. And he would bring uh, 12 huge balloons to school, and he proposed to me in the gymnasium with an actual diamond ring. Um, that his mom and him helped get. You know, it was just, you know, it was just quite a story. Okay, everyone loved us. Everyone knew us. Um, Nene came about. I got pregnant with Nene about 2 years later, and Nene came, and we still was together. But it was just always something a little strange about Maurice. We would always go back and forth, and I choked it up to being young. We would always go back and forth in our relationship. 1 minute we on, 1 minute we off, 1 minute we on. And it was like a roller coaster. And at that young age, you have patience a lot more than your mid to late 30s like me right now. And I didn't have, uh, I had a higher tolerance. So I dealt with the roller coaster for a couple of years. Um, Nene was about a year and a half when we broke up. When I finally said enough is enough, because I really got tired at that point of the roller coaster. I wanted to, live on my own, get my own place, and he was still, he always worked, and he always wasn't the type of guy that went out clubbing or doing drugs or drinking or none of that kind of stuff. That just wasn't in his MO. You got to remember, um, that was embedded him. Church was embedded inside of him. So, he didn't branch off and doing certain things, and he still was a good guy. But it was again something always strange about him. Well, I would say peculiar about him. Um, Needless to say, I met. That's my daddy. No, I'm talking about Maurice. Needless to say, I finally got tired, and like I said, we broke up when Nene was about 1.5. I met my ex-husband. My ex-husband was younger than myself, but he was very mature because he was raised by parents that were on drugs, or either one was just an absent parent. And he was in the military at 17. Um, in fact, I met him when he came back home from basic training. Now I know this. And of course, a couple of months after I met him, of course, I knew that then. But at the moment, I didn't know why he had this little, almost bald haircut. But it was because he had just got back home from basic training. Um, and I met the little leprechaun, which was my ex-husband. And that relationship blossomed. I got my first place with him, and I moved out of my mom's home. Again, Nene was about 2 years old at this point. Um, we moved all the way across town. Uh, he worked for IBM, actually. Yeah, and then we got married. You see the connection, but anyway, we started our own business, and first we started off with a small daycare center, and then we went up to, well, it was a home daycare. Then we went up to a small child care center, and then we also opened up a computer repair shop in Essex, Maryland. Well, one day, about 4 years into my marriage, although, as I told you guys, I never was in love with my ex-husband. I married him because I wanted Nene to have what was ideal. I married him because I wanted to have a whole family unit. I married him because he fit a void in my life. It wasn't a love void, but it was a void. And at that moment, at that time, he was the best that I could do as far as filling that void inside of me. Um, and I clung to him. So, like I said, four years into the marriage, uh, for some reason, I had talked to Maurice I talked to him periodically. Wasn't all the time, but I would talk to him periodically, and he was quite an absent parent. Um, He was a good guy, but he had issues. And again, the word I use and I continue to use is he was a little strange. Well, come to find out, I later found out that Maurice had some sort of a mental illness. And that's what that strange feeling was that I felt way back when we were 16 years old. Well, at this moment, I had, talked to him. Like I said, that was periodically during these years I talked to him, but I had just talked to him, and he told me, "Hey, come on down after you drop off your husband, and you don't have to get out the car, nothing like that. Um, you can bring the babies with you, and come on down and uh, come on down and get your birthday present." My birthday is May the 2nd, you guys. I said I was a Taurus, and this was I think May the 1st or May the 2nd. Probably was the day before my birthday. And when I got down there was a huge balloon about the size of my minivan windshield, and it said "I love you," and he had a huge card. Well, when he came over to the car, it was like slow motion walking from his door to the car, because I was almost like, when I noticed it said "I love you," I said, "Oh my God." And I'm going to stop here. I'll continue on the next video. So I'll tell you guys what happened to that. Be blessed.